The following is rated F for fairness. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Welcome to the audio show.
Well, friends, y'all see the towel around my neck, so you know what time it is, right? It's pool time. However, this came up today, and so I'll have to cover it just before I get outside in the hot tub. Let's jump in. Let's go.
Starting to spend time with Kai. You never talk about his dad.
Yeah, that's for good reasons. There's really nothing to talk about. He's non-existent in my book.
So the guy is a deadbeat dad, basically. What she's saying is that she don't talk about him at all. That's interesting for her not to talk about him. Now, it's interesting that Anthony's asking this no, because him should have asked these things before. But I guess in his mind, pum pum come first before the serious questions.
He's still alive, though, right?
I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but
Does Kai have a relationship with him? Or?
nope. You want the full rundown?
If you're comfortable with sharing it with
If I can sum it up, I was young. It was quite eventful. You know, I feel like he did the worst thing you could possibly do to me.
Okay, so she was young. He did some terrible things to her from before. Okay, that's interesting. She don't really want to talk about it, so he's a deadbeat dad. All right.
Besides the beating and cheating, I decided to leave him when he was like 1, and he told me, well, if I can't have it all, then I don't want it at all. And
All right, so hold on. So beating and cheating. All right, the cheating part, I get the beating part's interesting. So in other words, there was a DV involved in that. See, friends, when they're doing the DV things, they're gonna tell you in the skit. They're never going to show it to you. You know, most of the times they're not going to really show you too much of the DV. But okay, so my only question is it that he ran away from child support? Why didn't she like put him on child support? Because that a father like that, I would say, yeah, you want to put him on child support because he's not there and you have the child with him. So it'd be good to put a man like that on child support because he's not taking care of his responsibility. That's where I like the child support system. Not for men who are paying and then the woman goes up to child support court and try to see exactly if she can get him to pay, you know, an arm and a leg and destroy him life. I'm not concerned with that. I'm concerned with men who are actually evading the child support system.
we went our separate ways. And he came back around when he was about 3 and wanted to mend his relationship. And I tried to let him, but I told him if he did it again, if he disappeared, then it wouldn't be another time. And he stayed around for about a couple months and tried to pursue me again. And when I said no, he disappeared right before Christmas when he was 3. And ever since then, I stuck to my word. And there was never another time.
So it's an in and out kind of man. Now, see, Anthony needed to know this because clearly you're seeing that the woman has gone through excessive traumatical events. And if he would have listened to this before getting in bed with Dnisha, he could be able to make a conscious decision. Do I want to be a part of this? Because as a man who is playing around, because he's playing around, whether I'm going to accept it or not, Anthony's playing around because the whole thing with him doing Amber, where him drive, go give her about the ring was nonsense, basically. I'm going to call a spade a spade. We now he's bipolar, but the histrionic personality disorder modes that he's doing for attention is not going to cut it, right?
So they don't have a relationship. And I've explained that to him over the years. That I just give him a little bit more as he gets older about, you know, what happened and the inconsistencies. So I just rather him not be around at all if, you know, it's going to be inconsistent because that does more damage. So
Makes sense. The only thing I would say to it is if he's inconsistent nonetheless, right? Um, I know what she's saying. I know what she's saying. I would still allow him visitations, but I would allow him to still be inconsistent. Here's why I would think this, and maybe y'all can argue this. Here's what I learn about kids. You can tell them a story, but they want to see the story in motion for themselves. What that mean? That means them want to see things happen. So if a parent is inconsistent, they want to see that for themselves. It's just something that I've seen with kids. I don't know why. Not care much to tell them whatever it is. Them want to experience that for themselves. And by all means, for good measure, it makes sense. You will get to see. He will. It's good for Kai to see that, to see if his father is a consistent man, if he's a man of him word, if he lies a lot. He'd be able to see that very, very quickly. So that's the only thing I'd say. I think no, letting him back in the house, that is a no-no. I guess I agree with her if he's not consistent as a man. But in terms of making him seem son, I would say I would make him seem son. But I just wouldn't put it the other way. But I get it. Hey, again, I get it.
That's it.
Well, he's missing out on something great.
Yeah.
Your son, he's something great.
I agree with that.
And I know that his dad's not around and I'm not his dad. But I can still be the male figure in his life.
So he's still basically giving lines to Dnisha again and again and again. I never, again, hey, maybe Anthony knows something we don't know. I hope that Dnisha takes this as a way of leveling up as much as she, like I said before, hopefully she do that, right? And she don't work the honeypot strategy of doing the excessively in love thing and not remembering, the business of things. Now, what would I say about it now? Could I say that, like, especially for Honeypot, especially for Denisha, because Denisha has been excessively pursued, right? So that's what that is.
I appreciate it.
All right, so okay. Someone asked me to come check out this video. All right, so Anthony is still basically what you call now making a lot of promises that I don't know if him can keep. I don't know if him can keep all of these promises, and it's tough to keep these promises. Now, does a single mom need love? Of course she does, but you have to make sure you understand the magnitude of getting into a single mom's life, especially with a kid, right? Because you way you don't want him form is an impression of men. Sure, him father was not there, but if you're coming in and you're saying that I want to, what you call it now, show that I'm better than said man, then you must be able to show that. Because if you don't show that, then the kid going to get more damage than good. In other words, Anthony could come in and do way more damage than him actual father could, because at least he would understand him father, but then Anthony would be a man who come promise things, and I'm just saying it could backfire. That's all I'm saying. But hey, I don't know. Give me y'all's take, like, share, comment, subscribe. Talk to y'all soon.